think for me, what came out of the conference is more clarity that we need to move quickly now. So we've been having these conferences now every 2 years for quite a number of years. I think we need to be able to learn how to act quickly, and I would hope that what comes out of the conference is some clarity on what do we do. I think we all have the common goal. This common goal that we actually need to work collaboratively to deal with any sort of really difficult, complex, wicked problem. We all know that. We need to work together to do that. Whether we call it transdisciplinarity or participatory action research or collaboration or just, engaging people more holistically to change the way we do things, we know that we need to do it. So we don't necessarily need to use the word transdisciplinarity. I've always worked with industry and government and community groups, and from my view, you can't get an effective solution to any complex problem, especially not managing waste, by just having one of those perspectives. If we're going to manage our waste much more differently than we have in the future, you actually need to engage the people who are going to be impacted by that. That actually means communities. It means councils have to manage those waste streams. It also means industry, who have the potential to produce innovative solutions, technical and social solutions to complex problems. So I don't think there's any way for us to go forward in the future to change the way we do things now, radically change the way our infrastructures are built, our technologies are servicing us, unless we have multiple sort of input into solutions for these really complex problems. Cool. And that's why you actually need the right people in the room to be able to do that. So people who, deal with policies and regulations, people who actually technically deal with the problem you're trying to solve, but also the people who are getting impacted by that and have to change their behaviours and their practices for that solution to be implemented in practice. It is incredibly difficult, and it means a lot more time than dealing with other types of approaches to research, a lot more resources, money, someone who's really good at facilitating engagement between these different stakeholders, but also the time and the space to be able to do it well. Methods and the tools and the approaches we have in our community that we already have as transdisciplinarians have the potential to help us do that. We actually need to act on it fast now. We do. I mean, I would never talk to my industry partners and say, okay, we're going to do a transdisciplinary project together. But what they do understand is that we need to collectively come up with a solution to this problem. We actually need to co-design it from the beginning. We all need to have input into what the solutions looks like, and we need to actually be taking into consideration each other's perspective on whether it can work or not.
So for myself, I think that research should interact with society to solve sustainability issues, and for me transdisciplinary research is a way of how we try to link scientific research and societal problem solving. So I think that we are still growing and still becoming more competent, I would say, in the way we talk about transdisciplinary research. That's my perception, because I think we had conferences in 2000 or 2008, depending on how you count. And I think since then we are way more people that interact at these conferences. Also perhaps a higher diversity of people. What is now the next step is to reflect a bit on the different subgroups we are and about our identity. But so far I think we just grew, and this is another step that we take at this conference and grow. These conferences are in a way a place where those who are interested in further developing the transdisciplinary approach meet, and they can be academics, they can also be from the practice side. So I think transdisciplinarity is the means of how to achieve sustainable development, basically. And by further improving this means, you will achieve sustainability. And sustainability in that sense, I mean solving whatever sustainability issue you want: mobility, energy, biodiversity, migration, by joining forces between researchers who work on that and societal actors who are interested or concerned by this sustainability issue. It's basically just to bring both sides together. That's what transdisciplinarity does. I guess it's mostly like a community meeting of those people to exchange, to learn from each other, and also to get the batteries loaded again somehow.